Hello friends, Friba here from Watch Knitting YouTube channel. In this video, I'm gonna work on the fishbone stitch, or sometimes it's called as herringbone stitch. When you are working on flat knitting, it's reversible. However, I try to work in the round. Finally, after a couple of trial and error, I could make it. This is not reversible when you are working in the round, and it still looks almost the same when you are working in the round. I'm gonna show both. So we're gonna work the flat version first, and then I'm gonna work the in the round version. For this tutorial for working flat knitting, you need to cast on odd number of stitches. I'm using 2.5 millimeter needles with worsted weight yarn, and I have cast on 15 stitches here. It completes in 2 rows. You're gonna work 2 setup rows at the beginning in both, and then you're gonna repeat 2 rows over and over, which they are very similar. Let's dive in for the flat version. I'm gonna zoom. Okay, for the edge stitches, I usually pick up the first stitch at the beginning of the row without knitting, and then I knit the last stitch at the end. Here is my very first row after cast on edge, so I'm gonna knit this stitch in the very first row, and from following rows I'll be slipping without knitting. The base row or setup, the first setup row of this pattern will be rib stitch. So I will start with purl 1, knit 1. So this is this row, the first setup row will be purl 1, knit 1. I started with purl 1 after my edge stitch. The pattern is based over a rib stitch. It's one kind of rib stitching, and you can use it for hat brim and anything that you need to have a stretchy rib. Okay, I finish with purl 1 and then knitting the edge stitch. Now I'm gonna work the second setup row. This is very similar to the following rows. I'm gonna start with picking up the edge stitch without knitting, and then I have my knit stitch, then purl stitch. For the knit stitch, instead of knitting the stitch on the needle, I'm gonna insert my needle to the stitch below and go under the right leg of the stitch below here, and then place it on the left needle. Then you're gonna knit it. Next, you're gonna slip the original stitch, original knit stitch right needle without knitting, and purl the second stitch here. So for purling, instead of making purl this way or counterclockwise, it's gonna be much easier, and you're gonna see more defined lines if you work reverse purl or stern style of purling, and that makes a big difference. Again, here for the knit stitch, I'm gonna insert my needle into the below stitch and then grab the right side of the below stitch and put it on the left needle and knit it. Slip the second stitch or the original knit stitch and purl or reverse purl 1 stitch. We're gonna repeat across this row and try to make your stitches very loose. If you work tight, it's gonna be a big hassle to work this pattern. So make sure to have very loose stitches for both knit and purl stitches. And as I mentioned, this is the setup row. The next row is very similar to this row. It's very repeated pattern. And purl, and I'm gonna end with last knit stitch and then knitting the edge stitch. We finished the setup row. Now we're gonna work two rows which are very similar to each other. I start by picking up the edge stitch. Next, you're gonna see you have paired stitches and one single stitch. For the paired stitches, you're gonna purl two together, same as reverse purl or the one that I showed, without wrapping the yarn. This way, your yarn is clockwise. And then for this stitch, we're gonna repeat the same thing. For the knit stitch, always we're gonna go underneath the right leg of the stitch below, knit it, and slip the original stitch to right needle. Again, I have purl two together and my knit stitch that I'm gonna work the same. So this is the base of this pattern. In the next row, we're gonna offset this row, very similar to this row. And I end with purl two together and knitting the edge stitch. Now row two is very similar, just your stitch this time starts with knit stitch. So you're gonna go look at your stitches here. You're gonna see two loops here underneath the knit stitch. You're gonna pick up the most recent one. Pull it, place it back on the left needle and knit it. Then slip the original stitch. Next, you're gonna purl two together. And don't forget to make your stitches loose. Uh, this row might be a little hard, but from the next row, everything will be very obvious. So pick up your stitches, knit, slip, and purl two together. If you have hard time finding the stitch below, just pull it a little bit and you're gonna see which one is the most recent one. And that's it. You're gonna repeat these two rows, which are very similar to each other. Just one row starts with purl two together, the other one starts with knit. And that's it. You're gonna have this cute pattern that is very practical for any kind of knitting. If you wanna have a different rib stitch, this is the one that you can work. It's very stretchy. And my last one here. You're gonna repeat over and over and you will see the pattern. I'm gonna continue work a little bit and then come back to show you how does it look like. Okay, here I have worked a little bit and you can see the pattern now. I'm gonna show here. You may not be able to grab those stitches easily, but right now they are very obvious. And if you keep going, it's gonna be much easier. Okay, and last one here I'm gonna show you. And this is the pattern you're gonna work, and you will see this pattern. Now let's work the same stitch in the round. It might be slightly different, but this is the way it turns out in the round knitting. Here I have prepared even number of stitches because we're gonna work in the round. We have to adapt our stitches to the even number. I have joined my circular and I'm using 4.5 millimeter needles with a little narrower or finer yarn. So I'm gonna start with knit one, purl one for in the round version. So this will be my setup row of the in the round version. Knit one, purl one for the first setup row. I will come back after this round is done. Okay, I'm at the end of purl the first setup row. I finished with purl one. Now we're going to start the second setup row. It's exactly the same as what we did in the flat version. For the knit stitches, you're going to pick up the stitch below from underneath the right leg and then knit it exactly the same that we worked in the flat version and slip the second stitch and purl the second stitch. So we're gonna keep continue doing exactly the same thing that we did for a flat version, and I'll be right back with the next two rows. Okay, now I just finished the setup row. Now here you're gonna see a pair of the stitches and one single purl stitch. This is just opposite of what we saw in the flat version. And because of that, we have to adopt it now. So for the knit stitch, the paired stitches, we're gonna knit two together. Then you're gonna have the single purl stitch, bring the yarn to the front, slip that stitch to right needle. Then you're gonna look for the leg of that stitch, this line here, this strand here. You're gonna pick that up with your with the left needle, and then you're gonna purl this stitch, but you have to insert your needle from the back loop and make a back loop purl this way. You may find it a little hard, but as you work, it's gonna feel easier. Again, I have paired the stitches. I'm gonna knit them together. That's simple. The only concern is the purl stitch. You're gonna bring the yarn to the front, slip the purl stitch to the right needle, Then you pick up the leg of the stitch below. This is the same line that we worked from the other side. We are picking this line over here. We pick that stitch from there, and then you're gonna insert your right needle through the back loop and kind of twisting this stitch and making your purl. Knit two together, bring the yarn to the front, slip the purl stitch, pick up this strand here, and then you can push this stitch with your left hand, bring it to the tip of the needle. Then you have a space that you can insert your right needle and purl it. Knit two together, yarn front, slip, and pick up the leg and purl through the back loop. This is how you get this stitch in the round. At least this is the way I could find it with lots of trial and errors. I'm not sure if anyone else could do it any other way, but this is the way I found it. Hopefully you try and you find it practical, easier to work. The first couple of rows you may not see the pattern showing, but after a while it's gonna be more obvious and it's gonna be easier to work. I'm gonna finish this row and come back. The second row is gonna be exactly the same as the first row that we worked in the flat version. Okay, now I just finished round one. Here in the second round, we're gonna work the similar process we did in the flat version. Exactly the same thing. We're gonna go to the right leg of the below stitch, pick it up and place it on the left needle, knit it, slip the second stitch and purl two together. So in this version in the round, you switch the row one with round two. And the same is, the rest is similar. You're gonna repeat this round and the previous round, and that will be how you get this pattern of the fishbone in the round. I'm gonna show it one more time here. I worked this stitch, this pattern before. Let's see which round I'm working now. Yeah, I'm working round two here. So again, I'm gonna pick up the leg of the below stitch, knit it, slip and purl together. I love the texture of this pattern. I hope you guys try it and enjoy it. Let me know what you think about this pattern and stay tuned for more tutorials. If you have any questions, as always, let me know. I can answer them. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.